Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody, wherever you are. Welcome to the Vegan World 2026 Moonshot podcast. And today we're going to be talking about inspired storytelling, which is our guests have been doing. I have Gwenna Hunter with me. And good morning, Gwenna. How are you?
I'm good. Good morning. It's 8 a.m. here in cloudy Los Angeles, California.
Yes. So tell us a bit about your life and how you got to be where you are.
First of all, thank you so much for having me this morning. I really appreciate it. I really admire your work and just a lot of your philosophical views about reality. So, just wanted to put that out there first. So I am raised in Cleveland, Ohio, born in Greensboro, Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up, uh, like I would say, walking distance to a really mom and pop health food store.
Mm-hmm.
And as a teenager, I ate everything, obviously. And I wasn't on the vegan, vegetarian path one bit. However, I was always very curious of vegan or vegetarian products. So
Mm-hmm.
I would go in the health food store and just read the ingredients. I remember buying a veggie burger back in it could have been like 80, between like 88 and 1990. And it tastes like a rubber sandwich. And so from that point on, I was like, I don't know how those people do that. I would never, ever become a vegan.
Mm-hmm.
So fast forward, I would say to about 2008. I was living in Charlotte, North Carolina, and I just started having like little odd experiences. I remember buying a whole chicken and looking at it, and I ended up putting it back because it looked like a baby to me because it had the arms and the torso and the legs, and I'm like, this is weird, and I didn't want to buy it. And then I just started having like little strange, I would say like supernatural experiences when it came to like eating meat or dealing with animals. Then we'll fast forward to when I first moved to LA. I ended up having a dream that I was flying in the sky and I saw this beautiful cow on these green pastures. And she looked at me and I looked at her and our eyes merged and we became one. And I was the cow and I felt the cow's consciousness and reality and thoughts and memories. And when I came out of that, I was completely changed. Um, I've said before, I've always been someone that's always been very spiritual or into dreams and cosmic experiences, but never once did I even consider that an animal could love.
Mm-hmm.
And when I realized that a cow like loved their children and loved humans, and I I started questioning everything. I thought I already questioned everything, but I really started questioning
Mm-hmm.
everything. Um, and then about a couple of weeks later, I ended up seeing the video from Aaron Janis called Darius effing for their milk and for their bodies and how we treat them.
Mm-hmm.
And how we treat them. Probably was like what I was one of those, I'll say, passionate vegans for about 4 months because I was just, my mind was blown at learning this new information
Mm-hmm.
that I had never been taught. So I felt betrayed um, by what I had been taught my whole life. And then I felt more betrayed by whoever's running this world and making these decisions.
Right.
And it just got me questioning different things. And I'm like, well, if they lied about this, then how could this be true? And so I
Right.
just started questioning everything. And it's been a journey ever since.
Yeah. I know we all go through that, no?
Yes,
Once
yes,
we open the veil, it's just impossible not to see.
that's
Uh,
right. It is. It's impossible not to see.
yeah. And there are too many, coincidences, sort of synchronicities that happen in our lives.
That's
So,
right.
So when you came, I mean, how did you start all these? I mean, you have so many hats on, and I
Well,
see
let me
your.
tell you first. Let me start this by saying this for 2022. I'm taking some of those hats off. Yeah, for my own self care, sanity, and
Right.
all of that. Yeah, we're gonna unbusy in 2022. So
Okay.
I want to normalize, especially for my own life, and maybe inspire other people.
Right.
Yes, this world can be a mess, but it can also be beautiful. And you have to also take time out for yourself,
Right.
for your own self care and your own peace of mind. Because take it from me, when you get burnt out, you can't do anything for the animals or anybody.
Right.
All you can do is just feel the fire burn until it goes
Right.
out. So I just want to start with that. But yeah, I have Vegans of LA, which I'm in the process of revitalizing. And then, of course, Vegans for Black Lives Matter. Um, I work with, so one of the things is that my relationship with vegan outreach is coming to a close,
Mm-hmm.
a beautiful close. That's one of the hats that I'm taking off, just for my own, like I said, just so I can enjoy,
Mm-hmm.
being vegan.
Right.
Yeah.
So, vegans for LA. I know
Hmm.
you've been doing a lot of work with distributing food. Like
Yes.
that's how I, got to wanted to talk to you about that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, under vegan outreach, what I've been doing for almost 2 years, as an answer to the pandemic,
Mm-hmm.
um, we had decided, obviously, because we couldn't do any other type of in-person events, to help people with getting groceries,
Mm-hmm.
whole food, plant-based groceries. And so I began working with first Black Women for Wellness, and then Black Lives Matter, which has been just an honor to work with them. They're a really, really amazing group of people.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Let me see, Black Women Farmers of LA, the LGBT Center near MLK, and Crass Unity Center. That was the last
Right.
one that we took on. So yeah, working with those different organizations, and also on the side with Downtown Crenshaw.
Okay.
Yes.
So that's basically giving whole food plant-based groceries to
Yes,
families.
mostly produce heavy. So we
Mm-hmm.
make sure that we get produce from a wholesaler. It's not where, which is totally fine. But with this, we actually bought the produce. It wasn't donated,
Mm-hmm.
so it was mostly organic, always grown without pesticides, and non-GMO produce. And then we would usually supplement it with a hot plant-based meal from a local vegan chef, a
Mm-hmm.
Black chef in particular. And sometimes the groceries would be supplemented with things like rice or lentils. It just depended on budget and time and things like that, but always fresh produce.
I see. Yeah. So this is to anyone could ask for it, and you would go deliver it to their homes. Is that how the service worked?
Well, and so with vegan outreach, we have people all over the world doing this. It's not just me. So we have
Mm-hmm.
someone, Vic, in New Mexico, who does it for like the Navajo Nation, which
Mm-hmm.
is a lot of people. We have someone in Sacramento that's doing some local delivery. But
Mm-hmm.
with my programs, the way we did it was, we would have the truck drop off the produce, and we would sort it and pack the bags ourselves, so that when people show up, they just grab a bag. And usually the organizations we work with, they would inform their communities. So it would
I see.
usually be, their own community that they would be very specific to.
I see.
Yeah.
And you were doing fundraising for this? Uh,
Yes, yes.
mm-hmm.
And just to put it out there, I'm working on right now, and I'll be doing some more fundraising soon. So
Mm-hmm.
keep y'all checkbooks open.
Right.
But
Right.
I'm creating the process right now of creating a plant-based food bank,
Okay.
which will get started during the first quarter. So I'll keep people updated on that, but it's happening.
Okay, so what would be the purpose of the plant-based food bank?
Well, one, there aren't any.
Mm,
A lot of people that, during the course of doing these programs, a lot of people were either already vegan or were turning vegan.
right.
And, these programs help people. And, if you're living paycheck to paycheck, and you can get, you're vegan or vegetarian, or you're just trying to eat healthier and add more vegetables to your lifestyle, these bags can last out to almost 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So, or they can feed, several people in the family. So, one, it helps with financial relief.
Right.
And then two, you get to explore these different vegetables. There's, I've introduced people to star fruit, um,
Mm-hmm.
dragon fruit,
Mm-hmm.
I forget, just all types of different things,
Right.
different vegetables that you may not see normally in a supermarket that's, pretty close or pretty far away from a food desert. So,
Right. Right. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting that, I mean, now that you mention it, I had a note from the Boy Scouts on our door yesterday,
Mm-hmm.
and they were collecting food for the food banks in the
Okay.
neighborhood. And they were asking for canned meat, canned vegetables, um, mac and cheese, the usual packaged foods, and that's
Yes.
what they were collecting, right?
Yeah.
So that's when it occurred to me that's what food banks have.
Yeah, they do. The one that I'm working with, so what I'm actually doing is taking over one that exists
Mm-hmm.
and I'm veganizing it.
Okay.
So, yeah, which this is something I'm really good at. It's like getting products and things
Mm-hmm.
like that. So that's what I'm in the process of working on now, are getting products donated from vegan companies. Um,
Okay.
instead of tossing them or whatever they may do,
Right. Right.
send
Yeah.
them to us.
No, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So where is
Because you
it
go
going
to
to be
these,
located?
it's going to be on Hope and Union.
Okay.
And then I'll give all the details out later. But yeah, it's going to be on the downtown area in Los Angeles.
Okay. Amazing.
Yes, thank you. And from my understanding, there aren't any plant based food banks in Los Angeles. Now, there are giveaways and people that do
Mm-hmm.
give away vegan products and things like that. But as far as an actual food bank, this may be the very first one.
Yeah, it sounds like it'll be the very first one almost anywhere.
Well, they do have it because I've been researching. So
Okay.
they do have some. I know New York has one.
Okay.
There's a place in Northern California that has one.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they have some in Canada, but they're not very. There's not a lot of them, but they do
Okay.
exist. Yeah.
Okay. So is it going to be mostly whole food plant based, or are you also getting vegan prepared foods?
So that's what we're working on now, is working on having someone that will help create some meals.
Mm-hmm.
So when people come and get their groceries, they have a meal to take with them, which is why I'm going to be doing fundraising.
Okay.
So I can make sure that that happens every single week.
Is it going to be once a week that you will have prepared foods?
So this one is going to be once per month. They get up to 500 people in
Mm-hmm.
a single day. So as like I said, I'm taking off hats, adding hats, so I'm taking it easy. So right now it's going to be once a month.
I see. Okay.
But
Yeah, we
they
do.
have their own food bank that's every week. But I'm just going to take it over for you once per month for right now.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Let us know how we can help you with that.
Okay, I absolutely will. I
Yeah.
certainly will, because I'm definitely going to need, help from the community on this one. So 100%.
Mhm.
Thank you.
So, about I mean, Vegans for Black Lives Matter. How did you get started on that? And what are you doing with that?
So that got started. It was literally, I was minding my own business and I was standing
Mhm.
by the sink, and it literally came through like a download.
Mm.
and I heard Vegans for Black Lives Matter, and I was just like, oh, that sounds genius. And then I decided to create the group. But I usually don't, as people can probably see now, I'm not a big group person because you have to do a lot of nurturing, especially in a
Mm.
brand new group. And I really wasn't in the mood for that. But it was a divine thought, so I knew I needed to act on it. So I went ahead and created the group. The name, I invited about 5 people, 5 to 10 people, thinking that, okay, they'll probably help me and we'll just work on this group in the next couple of weeks.
Mhm.
And close off the computer. Next day I woke up, there were like 500 people in the group. And I'm like, what the? And then the next day it was like 1,000. It just kept doubling. And it was, literally, it was all George Floyd energy, all being
Mm.
like, it was just chaos,
Mm.
absolute chaos. I was not mentally prepared for what I was going to experience with that group, but I don't regret a minute of it. Yeah, a lot of joy, a lot of pain, a lot of hard conversations.
Mhm.
Um, in the beginning. Now it's a little more calm right now, which I personally like because um, when you're taking on a lot, like, and I won't say a lot, but when you're taking on multiple things, especially
Mhm.
things that are very emotionally heavy. With
Mhm.
veganism, we can dress it up and make it look cute, but really what we're trying to do is stop people from eating dead bodies and
Right.
eating conscious beings, which is kind of like, you know, Jason.
Right.
It's a horror movie. So this deep down, but you kind of just make sure that you're, keeping it, looking kind of presentable for people. So when you're
Right.
doing that and you're taking on other issues like racism
Mhm.
and the energy from that, it can be a lot.
Yeah, but it's all one thing, no? I mean, it's just there is a whole uh, conglomerate of these violent things going on around us,
Yeah,
and we are trying to, reach non-violence,
that's right. Nonviolence and liberation.
liberation. Absolutely.
Hmm.
Yeah, Dr. King said, we have a choice today: non-violent coexistence or violent co-annihilation.
Mm,
So it's no longer a choice between non-violence and violence in this world. It's between non-violence or non-existence.
mm.
I mean, he said that in 1963, but it is really true today. You
Yes,
know,
yes, yes.
because it's nature saying, I mean, this is violence against nature. It's violence against each other. It's all one big ball of violence that we have in this system.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah,
I wanted to ask you a question if you don't mind.
sure, sure, absolutely.
So I just wanted to find out, are we still like within the same timeline of like what you were saying about 2026? Of,
Yeah, it's we are wiping out wildlife at a really fast pace. We know that we wiped out 52% of wild animals, wild vertebrates between 1970 and 2010, and that became 58% by 2012 and 68% by 2016. Now we are always 4 years behind in terms of measuring. So it takes them 4 years to compile the data. And so we are waiting for the 2018 data
mm,
later this year.
okay.
Okay. And we'll see how we are going. But we haven't changed anything.
Yeah.
So we are still burning down forests. We are still dragging nets down the bottom of the ocean. So we are still pouring pesticides and insecticides and all these sides. I mean, every side is a killer. It's a it's a poisonous chemical we're pouring into the
Mm,
environment.
yes.
And a lot of those chemicals don't even go away; they just stay there. You know, so
Mm,
so this is why it's persistent. And when it's persistent, it just eventually kills.
Yeah.
Kills it. We kill the insects, and then the birds that eat the insects die.
Yep. Everyone has their purpose here.
Yeah, exactly. And so we are not recognizing that, and we for us it's all about extraction, domination, exploitation, not just of nature but of each other as well. That's the system we have created, and that system, it's running its course still.
Yeah.
And so we are on track. If we don't change, we are on track to wipe out everything by 2026. And so I say that, which this means that we absolutely have to create a vegan world by 2026. And I'm depending on people like you, to spread the word and tell the stories, so that
Absolutely. Absolutely.
communities come together and work for it. Because ultimately, as Dr. King said, it's non-violent coexistence, and it's not just with each other but also with nature, with all the
That's right.
animals of the world. Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
But to reach non-violent coexistence, I say that we need to start with actually nurturing them back.
Mm.
Because once you wipe them out so much, you really have to nurture them back.
Yeah.
And so, and that is that's the next stage. So I say we have to go beyond just
Yes.
non-violent coexistence.
Yes.
Yeah, it's, there's a lot of deliberate nurturing that needs to be done.
That's right. Sorry about
Yeah.
that. Something fell. I'm like, what the heck was that? Okay.
Yeah, but I
It's
say that it always begins with healing ourselves first.
that's that is it. That is what I stand on. That's what I believe. 100%. It starts with you first.
Right. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. Not only, as individuals, we need to heal ourselves, but also heal our species, heal our fellow men, heal fellow human beings.
That's right.
So healing, what you're doing with, providing healthy food to people and making sure that everyone understands how do you get to a healthy existence.
That's right. That's
Right.
right. Yeah, and it's interesting because, it and I think people have the awareness of this. I hope they do, but healthy food is a human right.
Right.
Like it's not a privilege, or if you work hard, if you have like it's free anyway. It grows out of the ground. It's just the way I feel like people on this planet have been so mind controlled and
Yes.
so hypnotized and under a trance. It it, it's it can be frustrating. I mean, I know we're all waking up at different levels, at different days and different years and all that, so I do understand that. But some things are just like, come on, you can't say this. It's like, come on.
So what do you do when you feel that way? How do you?
When I get to that, that's where I'm like, where it's like my peak, where I'm just like, I am so over humanity. But when I get to that, I realize I have to go back to the oneness
Mm,
of it all and my own personal beliefs, which I don't think they should be true for everyone. It's just true for me.
mhm.
That I personally believe that we all are volunteers on this planet
Right.
and that we all came here deliberately to have whatever journey and personal experience for ourselves, and that we are on the upstream, and that we are figuring this out, and that we're evolving, and that we're going in the right direction. So, sometimes going in the right direction, there's still chaos and things that need to come up because, when you're healing isn't necessarily beautiful. It can be get sick, nauseous, mucus, like all these things happen during
Right.
healing. But in the end, it's to make you better. So I have to like put myself in that when I get to where I'm just like, yeah, so frustrated with existence.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's a little bit like detoxification, right? First,
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
So we're going through the detox process right now.
Yeah, where all the truths are coming up,
Right.
things are being exposed, people are really speaking their minds, and yeah, so yeah, we're going through the detox
Yeah.
right now. Yeah.
And then we'll pick ourselves up and recreate. I mean, we have actually. I mean, we already know that some nations are already paying people for rewilding their
Yes.
farmlands.
Yes.
Netherlands just announced it, or UK announced it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they're paying farmers to rewild their land.
Wow. Wow, that's interesting. I'm gonna have
Yeah,
to read that story.
I wish everyone would do that right now
Yeah.
around the world, and so we can create food forests and help each
Yes.
other. Yeah,
Yeah, it would. But United States is always, 'cause, well, we're so pro capital, and I don't know. It's like out of so many different countries, and I know there's others that have a harsher dictatorship,
hmm
but we are in one as well. I don't know why
right.
people don't think we are. We are in one. It's just not as intense as other places. But yeah, I really wish and hope that our government or people that actually have their fingers on the decisions to make, open their hearts more.
Yeah, it's happening at the local level. By the way, Molly Basler is running for LA City Council in
Okay.
Los Angeles, in District 5.
Excellent. Oh, can
Yeah,
you tell me her name one more time?
Molly Basler.
Molly Basler.
Yeah,
Okay.
so
I'm gonna look her up.
yeah, and she'll be a great ally for your food bank
Okay.
as well.
Okay. Good to know.
So,
Thank you.
yeah, and she's committed to a hunger-free Los Angeles.
Hunger Free Los Angeles.
Right, hunger-free. I think malnutrition-free. I mean, this with healthy food.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
Excellent.
so
All
I
right.
think she'd be excited to hear about your work as well with the
Yeah, I
food.
would love to tell. I would love to meet her. Okay, sounds good. Thanks for that.
Yeah, I'll connect you.
Okay, please.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Thank you.
And Amira St. John says, put another quote from Dr. King. This is day after Dr. King's
Oh,
birthday. We must learn to live together as brothers or perish together as fools.
mm, that's right. That's right. And that's, I mean, that couldn't be truer.
Absolutely.
Pair together as fools.
Yeah, and this is also true with all the animals.
That's
We
right.
need to learn to live together with them or perish together.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. And the longer I'm in this movement, the more I really understand in both sides of the connectedness
Hmm.
of it all. I mean, it's all connected because
Right.
we're all connected.
So, do you, after that experience of being with the cow, and as if you could feel the cow, right? So that's what you said. You could
Yeah,
feel.
I became the cow. We were one.
Hmm. Yeah. Have you ever gone back to doing that with other animals? I mean, has that happened with you with
Yes,
animals?
happened several times.
Hmm.
Um, I've done it again with pigs. Pigs and cows seem to be um, the loudest with me.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll probably say cows is the top. But yeah, I've communicated with cows that have told me, like, we're mothers too,
Mm-hmm.
um, and that they grieve their children
Mm-hmm.
when their children are taken or lost. So yeah, And, one thing for me is I want to start sharing these messages, which I was a little shy to do for a long time. But now it's pretty much gone. Like, I'm like, you know what? This is my truth. And I know there are people out there that resonate with it. So yeah, I'm going to start sharing these stories more.
Okay. Do you have a blog or something? How can people reach you?
So it's going to be they can follow me on Instagram at Gwenna GWENNA1. Yeah, that'll probably be the best place for right now until I get the blog up on Vegans of LA. But yeah, let's see. Yeah, that's it. Gwenna1 on Instagram. Thank you.
Right.
Yeah, that's
So
it.
when you are when you're with the cow, when you are the cow, or when you are the pig, tell us some of your experiences. I mean, how do you feel?
Well, when I had the first one with the cow, when I came out of the dream, I was like in shock. I'm like, did that just happen, or was that just a like? And I know dreams aren't just dreams. Like, they're how I get like a lot of information. But I was like, even though I'm a believer, I'm also a skeptic too. So I'll question it and try to rationalize it first. And while I was literally physically awake, laying on the bed, contemplating the dream, I felt a warm energy, it felt like a little heater was right over my heart. And I looked, I didn't see anything. And when I touched it, I was like paralyzed with the most beautiful sense of peace. It was warm, it was safe, it was gentle, but it was complete peace. And I realized that the cow, like, she gave me a piece of her, so that I knew that this was a real experience and not just, me saying, oh, I must have ate something weird, or that was weird. Like, I needed to take this dream seriously. Before that had happened, I had an experience where I was with my mom, and we had ordered, she had ordered some KFC, and she was eating it. And all of a sudden, I heard like this really loud frequency pitch in my ear. And then all of a sudden, the sound became like surround sound. And the smell of the chicken smelled completely rotten. Like, it smelled completely rotten. And then I heard her eating, and and this is what I literally said. I was like, oh my gosh, she's eating a dead body. Like, I had the awareness, but I was not vegan or nothing about any animals. I could have cared less. Like, that was not on my plate. And the experience probably lasted maybe 5 to 10 seconds, maybe. And then everything went back to normal. And I was like, what the hell was that? So I've been getting like little pushes and shoves for a long time to like have the awareness, about how animals are conscious. Another experience I was like at a slaughterhouse, and in the experience, and there were cows and there were chickens, and they were lined up, and I had the awareness of their awareness that they knew what was getting ready to happen. Like, they were in full awareness that they were next, and they were in line. And all of a sudden, I started yelling at them, and I'm like, hey, why don't you just don't reincarnate? Don't come back to this planet. I was like, we keep eating you all and hurting you. I'm like, just don't come back here. And one of the pigs spoke up in a very male dominant voice, and he said, we'll keep coming back until you all get it right. We love you that much. And then he sent like a little signal from his heart. It was like a pulse of love, and it went into mine, and it was so pure and beautiful and soft and sweet, and just, I don't even have the language. I'm making up the language in human terms, but he sent me like this impulse of love, which to me lets me know that it's not just us who volunteer to come here, they do it as well. So
Mm.
it would be silly of me to think we have the awareness of, we're here in this life and we had another one and they don't have the same experience. So, but that's just my belief. My,
That was so beautiful, Gwenna.
oh,
Thank you
thank
so
you.
much for sharing that. Yeah,
You're welcome. You're welcome.
yeah. I mean, it gives me chills to know that the animals are coming back over and over in order to help us understand.
Yep. We're all in it together.
We're all in it together. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
All of us.
Tammy says you're such a sacred soul to listen to.
Oh,
So,
thank you. Thank you, Tammy. Thank you for that.
yeah, you are.
Thank you. Thank you. But yeah, when I have these experiences, and they're not always like beautiful, like it's
Mhm.
sad when a cow is telling me like, "Hey, we're mothers too," because I can not only do they t- tell me the information, but they send me the energy of how they feel.
Mm. Mm.
So that is, yeah, intense.
I mean, you are one of the most amazing animal communicators I've ever spoken to.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Yes,
thank
I'm
you.
from my emotion.
We are sending hugs your way.
Hmm. Thank you.
We love you, Gunnar.
Thank you. That's why I don't tell the stories because a lot of emotions come with it.
Yeah. So Tammy is asking, how can the vegan grandmothers serve you?
How can the vegan grandmothers?
Yeah, serve you.
I don't know if I really understand the question.
Yeah, we have formed a group of vegan grandmothers.
Oh, okay.
And I mean, obviously, grandmothers have this special relationship with their grandchildren, and they want to leave a world that's
Mm.
beautiful and thriving for them, and
Oh, I love that.
especially grandmothers.
Yes, I
Uh,
love that.
yeah.
Oh, I love that.
So there are about 20 right now, but we are trying to grow that group
Are,
um,
are they all over the world?
all over the world. Yeah.
Okay, beautiful.
Yeah. So we'd love to, help you create food banks everywhere or whatever it is that you want, to help you
Okay,
grow grow your dream and make your dreams come true.
thank you. Thank you. Well, like I said, I'm taking things easy as I'm coming out of this
Mhm.
last try not to keep using the same word, but just I'm going through a recharge still. So
Right.
as the things with the food bank develop, I'll be posting them on the Instagram page
Okay.
so everyone can keep up. So yeah, just check that out every week, and I'll have information on there how people can help.
And yeah, and let us know. Yeah, let us
I
know
will. I will.
directly as well. You have my contacts, and I'll be
Yes.
happy to help you.
Yes. And thank you for your past help. You've been very instrumental in some of the fundraising I've done. So thank you so much. I really
Oh,
appreciate
least I can do. Yeah.
it. Thank you.
Thank you. Anything else you want to leave our audience with
Um,
that I didn't
I would,
ask you?
yeah, I guess I would, I mean, I don't want to preach to the choir. Because I
No,
know we got
preach, sister. We have to preach.
it. I guess just for me, like from my own personal calling, because we hit on so many different areas of animal liberation. From we have people that focus on fur, we have people that focus on rescuing, and just going into grocery stores and doing speak out, so many different things. Um, but for me, I want to advocate the way that I came in, which is through the awareness that animals are conscious. And if it's true for you, it's probably true for them as far as like how they uh, process their awareness and how they think and how they love. And then even on a spiritual level,
Mm.
um, them having souls and having purpose, being on this planet. So I just want to say, just keep your minds open.
Yes.
Yeah, just keep your minds and your hearts open, because even as vegans, there's still evolution to be done. So just because
Right.
you're not eating animals doesn't mean that you figured it out and you can lay back and tell everyone else what they're doing wrong.
Right.
Like, you still need to work on yourself. There's still more things that you can learn. And this is a constant message to myself. I'm definitely not pointing the finger, because I struggle a lot
Right.
with being patient
Mm.
and not being so judgmental of people, because awareness clicks for different people at different times. And what you're saying may not be stimulating enough for them to get it. It may
Right.
need to come through someone else. So if you have someone in your life that, isn't getting it, just try to be patient. Like I said, this is a message for myself as well, because I can really click to the other side real quick. So
Mhm.
I have to watch it.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
So thank you for that. Paige says that your authenticity is your strength.
Oh, hey, Paige. I love you, Paige. Thank you.
Yes. And thank you very much for being here. It was a pleasure to speak to you.
Thank you. It's a
It's
pleasure
an
to be
honor.
here. I
Yeah.
really appreciate it. I think somebody you want to say hi?
Aha.
All right, she's in a bad mood.
Okay, no problem. No problem.
She's in a bad mood. She wants some snacks, so I got to give her some snacks in a minute.
Okay.